Big Boy's
Big
Neighborhood.
Boy.
Welcome to Uncut.
Welcome.
Yeah, man. Uncut is going down right now. So let's start off with Nicki Minaj and Wendy Williams.
I love the.
Saw you raising your hand over there.
I was raising my hand. I was just I went. I was fixing my hair. No, Wendy Williams. Like when Nicki got married, she of course went on her show and had her opinions, and her opinions tend to be not just like, oh, here's what's going on, here's the facts. Like she goes in on certain people or has a specific type of tone to her voice where she tells stories. So this was her talking about Nicki Minaj getting married.
And I don't know what he does for a living. I just know that he did time in jail for, he's a sex offender. Well, she's no stranger to that because her in jail for sex offending.
Her brother.
Well, first-degree manslaughter. Now, he served 7 years in prison, and he's also a sex offender. So that means that is a manslaughter a killer? That's okay, so he's a killer and a sex offender. Well, Nicki, congratulations.
Like when you say that at the end.
She took her time with that too.
And that wasn't like it was
and
a
you can't
much
be in your
longer
50s
segment.
and not know that manslaughter has something to do with killing
Yeah,
someone.
she wanted that reaction.
Yeah, she did. So, of course, who sees the segment? Nicki
did.
Minaj.
Oh, Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj.
Damn.
You were so close.
Ask me again. Let me try to get it right.
Okay, ready? So, of course, who saw the segment?
Nicki Minaj.
There it is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
man.
Good job.
There it is. Thank you.
All
I
knowing.
turned your mic down. Sorry about that.
So Nicki decided to do a new episode of Queen Radio a few days ago, and she addressed all the haters.
She
Specifically,
need to call that Queen Clapback Radio.
For real.
It sounds like she only
She
do
does.
shows when she got like.
Something to say.
1,000%.
It'd be crazy if you were like a fan that was waiting to listen, because you don't get a lot of Nicki Minaj shows. You know what I'm saying? But she came with it.
She did, and she had to address the hater in Wendy Williams, and then does this like spot-on impression of Wendy.
3 times in a row doing a show acting like she and stuttering John talk about is it manslaughter? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does manslaughter does it mean that you actually killed somebody? Does it mean that you Where was you at when Kevin had his knee deep in that?
We could have played the dirty
love-
version right now.
Yeah, we should have had the dirty version loaded.
She says, "Where was you where Kevin was knee deep in that poo, not knee?" That's
Oh,
what
that's
she
what
said.
she said?
Yeah.
Man, because we've been playing the
that's what she
edited
said.
version all morning.
Well, they took it out on the Apple version,
Gotcha.
actually. So the only version that has the Punani version is the version that's like really a little
Talia's
distorted because
version.
someone was recording it off of their,
That's funny.
Got it.
But man, Nicki just, and rightfully so. Like Wendy Williams on her show, like I said, this is what she does. But knowing that this is what she does, she has to expect people to not just always sit back and take it and not give you back that energy. And Nicki is one of those people who is not going to sit back.
Right.
She's going to let you know. That's one of the reasons why she has Queen Radio, because she wanted to be the one behind the mic and say, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel and where you are wrong, and I am going to clap back strong. And Nicki did that. She did make a really good point because she said, anytime you talk about Gucci, are you bringing up his past? When you talk about his wife, are you bringing up his past? Oh, but when it comes to me, you want to go ahead and always bring up my man's past.
But you know what? That's what she's doing right there. That's like when you get pulled over by the police, you can't say, hey, what about that car that's speeding past right now? She focusing on her right now.
And
I'm glad she clapped back though.
She does say too that there was she goes into Kenny's past and she says, the girl who accused him of rape tried to go back to the judge and tried to recant her statement. The judge then told her, if you do that, you're going to go in jail for 90 days because then she would have been filing a false police report and she would have been, so that was the reason she didn't do that. She says the reason he stayed in was because he was 17 and his family doesn't have $7,000 to pay the bail. And when you come from a family where it doesn't have anything, what do you expect? That's what's going to happen. And then years later, there was the other stuff.
You see a lot of people that get caught up in Rikers for not being able to pay the bail.
Yeah, definitely. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's really awful. But I am glad that Nicki, stood up and stood her ground and just gave us that beautiful impression.
I'm just looking at the entertainment in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you think it's gonna end? Do you think this is the
Oh
end
no,
of it?
not at all.
No.
Hell, like
Well,
how
I-
does like
as long as
why?
Wendy has a show.
I
It's
think
like,
Nicki's
man.
gonna hate her forever.
Oh, yeah.
And she has that right. I just don't understand why Wendy chose to do this out of her career. Like why she chose this path. Because there's one thing in reporting a story, but then actually going in, like it's in her demeanor, how she tells the stories.
Yeah,
or,
man.
Like Nicki was right when she was asking, "What is that manslaughter?" Like, is that a killer? Like a killer?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like you know what you're doing. But she also does know what she's doing because like we're talking about her.
Yeah,
she's
and
staying relevant.
and it's done in such a crazy way. You
Yeah.
know
I
what I'm
personally
saying?
wouldn't want to.
Yeah, and it seemed like because it used to be wild in radio for her.
Right.
And then once she got the TV, that's why a lot of people didn't want to do her show. People don't talk to her on the red carpets. But it seemed like she had kind of moved away from that. People starting to do her show a little bit more. But I guess when she feel a certain way or she doesn't like or whatever it is, she go for the jugular.
Yeah, I guess
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
makes
Like,
Wendy.
remember when Charlamagne first came on radio? People didn't want to mess because Charlamagne came
It's a product
from,
of Wendy.
Yeah, you know, he did his thing, then he got to Wendy, then he did his thing with Wendy, and now Charlamagne is on his own ground. You know what I'm saying? But Charlamagne was another one of those people that people like, man, I'm not going to that show.
I think people still feel like that about Charlamagne.
Yeah,
Like
because
honestly.
That's true. I think
It's the truth.
it's hard to shake off some of that.
Right.
Even though you don't do certain things, it's still kind of hard to shake it off.
He still will ask in a certain way things that I definitely wouldn't. I'm like, damn, like
Yeah.
that's interesting. Or why go at it
Like
I
we
think,
get people still that's afraid to come do our show sometimes. Or they like, oh, tell Big, don't ask this.
Oh, yeah.
Because we used to be even more of a bit, wild as well, But there are some questions that if I don't ask, then I look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like we just had an interview that was going to happen today. They sent us so many do not
So
ask
many.
questions. The most
dog.
questions
Never
that I
seen that.
ever had in my, make sure that nothing's up right now. Yeah. But the most do not questions I ever had in my life.
We were going over it, and I remember I was listening, and then you brought up another one. I went, it's still going.
Yeah.
It's still going.
I
That's
had
how long
to
the
flip
list.
the page on the do not ask questions,
it really sucked. I was about to start my prep, and then I saw the list. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
what's
Scratch
the
off.
point of
Yeah.
Scratch your prep.
prepping for
Yeah.
this?
And let it go because we want to protect them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As well. Louis, what's going on with this porn story? What did you do? What
so
happened
check this
with
out. So this dad decided
okay.
to give his
The dad.
daughter's boyfriend a questionnaire when he came over for dinner, right?
Okay.
These are the questions, Big, and I think you'll probably want a copy of this too when your daughter gets a little older, right? Question number one. So they're at dinner, and imagine the dad just handing the boyfriend this letter, this questionnaire, right? Number one, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Okay.
Good question, right? Number two, what qualities do you see in my daughter that makes you think she will make a good wife? Good question. Number three, what are your intentions with my daughter?
Oh, starting to get
A little
yeah.
deeper. Number four, how well can you provide for a wife and family?
Oh,
Number five, what is your history with pornography?
oh, damn.
Do you skip that question? Do
He
you
didn't
answer
even.
it?
I like that he asked
There
that.
was no
Yeah.
ease in. What's there?
That's
And
the
what
question.
was the question?
What is your history with pornography?
Right.
Like,
How would you answer that?
I would say, oh my God,
love
I
it.
can't say I've never seen it.
Right.
Because I have, so I'll say not addicted to pornography. How
Right.
about that?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it,
Yeah,
sir.
I've seen a few stuff.
Then I'd be like, and what about yours, sir? That's what I would say.
What's in your
Imagine-
collection?
what if you
Yeah.
start
I wanna
writing
know
down
if you're gonna be a good
websites?
father.
Yeah.
Father-in-law.
Is there some advice you want to give me, Pops, or what's
Got a
happening?
website?
I
got some links?
recommend.
Yeah, I'm not gonna creep past anything, and your wife gonna be in there. Is
Oh
she?
my gosh,
It's in
yeah,
your top
dog.
five.
Yeah.
How do you answer that? What is your history with pornography?
You know
Like,
what? I
is
think
it-
that's a great question.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I think that men are addicted to porn. There's certain men that are, and
Yeah.
if this person has a porn addiction, I think that leads to a lot of like relationship
Am I
problems.
gonna admit that to you at dinner though?
Yeah, exactly.
You know
Hell
what I'm
nah.
saying? What's your?
Obviously, nobody's gonna admit it to him.
Yeah.
But
I'd be like, you can't see my hands now, Dad.
I feel like the daughter must have a very good relationship with the dad for the dad to feel like he can have or like be a part of that.
I wonder
Of
when do
their
you do that
relationship.
interview?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I wonder
know?
if this is really real.
Yeah.
There's
Could
a-
be bullshit.
There's another question that is kind of like, how many women have you been with before my daughter?
Wow.
It sounds like the
One.
daughter made this fucking
Yeah.
question.
Dad, ask him
This
this.
that sounds like
Wondering.
This sounds like something she. Now that
Do
I think
you like
about
my
it,
daughter better than Tristan, her
Yeah,
friend on
man.
the cheerleading team?
she made that shit
fucking
up.
crazy,
Dad,
dog.
hand this to him.
I like number 7.
What's number 7?
Do you have a temper?
I like that
Oh
one.
man, I'd be like, fuck no.
All caps.
I love your daughter, motherfucker.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I fucking love her. What do you do? She told me.
Oh my gosh, but yeah, the porn history. How do you do that at dinner? I think this is bullshit.
Oh my. Well, look at question number 9. Of course it is. Now
Will
I
you
see
be
that one.
Yeah, will you be prepared to look after my beehive when I go on holiday?
Oh God, this is dumb. This is
Fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't
He probably
know.
he's
It was
probably
Like,
Yeah.
he
like-
collect bees?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought some
Yeah.
Beyonce shit.
Oh,
I
me
like,
too. Those are my.
Who the fuck did
My
this?
This for sure is
Yeah.
fake.
Yeah, what is your history of pornography, though? Yeah.
My dad jokingly gave my sisters, I remember I was little, my sister's boyfriend that came over, like an application to date my daughter, and it had like crazy questions, and then nothing like that though. And then at the bottom it was like, please be aware I have a shotgun and a shovel.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's goofy
Damn.
too.
Yeah.
That's like, and when I was younger, when I would see some shit like that, and for one, I always thought, all of my homies thought we could knock your dad out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
True.
Like, man, we'll fuck your father up. You know?
That's
and,
funny.
And so now that I'm a dad,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I wonder if these motherfuckers think they can put hands on me.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'll probably, you know, when my daughter, hopefully she gets somebody that treat her like, you know, the precious princess that she is.
You know,
Do
How
you
you
guys
been
have-
treating her?
If not, I'll shoot him.
Do you guys have a you can date at this age rule, or have you thought
Well,
about
my
that?
daughter know that she can't
Oh,
date.
that's a good question.
Okay.
Because what's
Period.
gonna happen?
Yeah,
said
I'm gonna
period?
kill her boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Her first boyfriend, she already know.
Period.
Oh my gosh.
Now for my son, it's a little different. He can
Yeah.
start dating when he's 25.
25.
Gotcha.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? 25.
That's
30.
reasonable.
Yeah, you know what I'm
guess.
saying? I don't know, man.
Like,
You
I
know,
don't
I know,
think there's
man.
the right or wrong, or
Nah.
like I think it just depends on the
I
relationship,
can
the
tell
family,
you straight
the
up,
kids.
I'll definitely be more lenient with Jaden
Yeah.
than Jade. And you know that's just son, and
For
you know,
sure.
like if Jaden came home at 17 and said that he lost his virginity, I would be hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, because there's so many questions. Like, man, you know, like if my daughter came home at 17 and said that she lost her virginity, I would be crushed. I would be demolished, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a difference to me.
Do you think she will tell you?
She'll probably tell Veronica.
Okay.
Tell her mom. You know what I'm saying? Because she already know, like, even when we just somewhere and I get upset with something or somebody,
She's
Yeah.
saying.
they see a look and they'll look. And I hate that because I'm a family protector.
Yeah.
And so I don't play a lot of shit. And so they'll see my demeanor change. But the one thing my kids know is that they're safe with dad. And that's what you want to accomplish.
Yeah.
You know, my mom being a single parent, for some reason, I felt so safe and secure with my mom. And then when I got older and had kids, I was like, dude, my mom was probably scared, but we didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my mom was a family fighter. She,
Yeah.
you know, you didn't fuck with her kids. That's the way I am with my brothers and sisters, and that's the way I am with my entire family. And now my wife and kids, like, man, nah. So it's gonna be crazy because you've cried over a guy before, right, IJ? You've cried over a guy. Have you, Louis, cried over a guy?
No, not credit. over
Okay,
guy.
so just in relationships, it's
Hey.
gonna. What about you,
Yeah,
Monica?
yeah, ask.
It's gonna crush me
Yeah.
when I can't stop my daughter from crying over a guy.
When
I-
go ahead.
Go
Ivy.
ahead. I was getting my nails done last week, and there was this lady, and
Then it look nice.
they're okay. I cut them all off. They actually look really bad. But there was another lady that was waiting that was gonna go after me, and my manicurist asked her like, "How you been? I haven't talked to you in a while." She just went
Like that?
and she just went like this, and she's like, "What's wrong?" And
See?
she just said the name of her daughter, and she told her that's her youngest daughter. I guess she's only like 15, 16 years old. She's like, she's pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, damn. And I was trying to like find ways to like encourage her, you know, or
Oh,
you help her
my
out, you know.
God.
And I was like, man, that's why like I hope that I can keep my kids like engaged and full of activities. She's like, that's how my daughters are.
Yeah.
She's like, I have them in
Yeah.
music,
man.
and she's like in sports. They're with
You
me
think
all
you're
the
doing
time.
everything right?
They're with me all the time. She found
Hey,
found
man,
time.
There's a gentleman that was.
She had no idea
that
she was even
I
having sex.
really respect in business and
Uh-huh.
life and everything, and it's it's the family, you know, husband, wife, mother, you know, husband, wife, 2 kids, and always present, everything. When I saw his daughter, before I even had kids, when I saw his daughter fall in love with someone that she shouldn't have fell in love with, and you know, turn, you know, to drugs, I was like, then I was scared because I was like, if he couldn't shield her,
Yeah, for real.
who could shield? Who do you like? Damn.
And setting the right example. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure.
And so now all the time I think of that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I thought he did everything right. She ended up coming back around, but it was like somebody else that had this influence over her.
That's
that
crazy,
as a
man.
dad or as a mom or as a loved one that you couldn't shield them from.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like when I was talking to the lady about her daughter, I told her, I was like, man, I was like, that's why I try to say it all the time. Like, I don't want my I wouldn't allow my daughter to have a boyfriend like knowingly, because even as innocent as it gets, like at one point when like I didn't have sex with my first boyfriend and who I lost my virginity with for a whole year and a half.
Wow.
And at our age, like everyone was making fun of him because everybody was losing it. Everybody was having sex, but our minds were just not there. But eventually it's like you go to the movies, you've done all of this innocent stuff. Like, what's next? Like,
Second
And
date.
especially
you
a
get
year
to
and
that.
a half.
That's a really long
That's
time.
yeah.
What I've talked to so many different people. Like a year and a half was a very long time. Like even my own guy friends that were friends with, they're like, "Man, why you doing that to my boy?" And I'm like, "What am I doing?" Like my mind just wasn't there. And I'm really grateful that his mind also wasn't there. And he was very respectful. So, but eventually we got
Were you
bored.
under 25?
Yeah, I was under 25.
Oh my God. I'm not playing higher or lower with
Yeah,
you.
don't.
I thought you was like 26.
I don't regret who I lost it with.
Right,
and
right,
I was
right.
really in love, and he respected me. And hearing some of these stories, I'm like,
Oh
oh
my
my
gosh,
God.
man.
As our first times, I do regret the age. I wish I was a little bit older.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Would you with your daughter, would you understood if she came in whatever the age, the same age, and waited a year and a half?
I mean, I feel like I would have had, I would be a hypocrite not to. I
Damn,
still wouldn't
yeah.
want that though.
See, I got a lot of hypocrite
Yeah.
in me though.
I still
Yeah.
wouldn't want that.
I own my hypocrite. You
I
know
still
what I'm
wouldn't
saying?
want that.
Yeah.
I trip out how like that junior high stage where I was at, where like you don't even ask, like if you're asking about a girl, it wasn't even like, does she have a boyfriend? The question was like, does she smash?
Damn.
Like, does she smash? Does she smash? Hey, do you know so? Does she smash? Like,
In junior high?
yeah, like
Oh,
junior high,
Lord
like
have mercy.
that was just
Were
crazy.
you
I was
really
a-
fucking in junior high though?
I was, dog.
Yeah, same.
No,
I
people
grew up-
really were.
Yeah.
I grew up with a
Because
lot
there
of
were
older
some
friends, dog.
people that were on some.
Yeah.
People thought they were doing it and lying, but nah, people were.
Yeah.
I was
smashing,
literally
man.
the only girl from my girl group of friends that wasn't having sex. Like even when I told them like I don't want to be, which was just all we did was kiss as my boyfriend, right? I was like I wanted to break up with him because he started to grab my butt and try my boobs. I didn't even have no boobs.
Oh,
I'm like, what is he
man.
doing? Like I didn't like. I felt so uncomfortable. I remember I was crying.
Oh,
and
man.
I told my friends, and it was 3 of them, and I will never forget their answer. They're like, "It's just ass and tits. Like, go. You should go fuck them." And like, I was like, "What?" I was still playing with Barbies,
Oh shit.
At what
and
age?
it was in 7th grade.
Oh, okay.
I was
Wait,
still
when
playing
you
with
lost
my
your
Barbies.
virginity?
No, I wasn't playing with Barbies when I
Okay,
lost my
I just wanted
virginity.
to make sure that we were straight.
We're talking about middle school.
Let's not get into the age, but
This was-
but just when you, I
I
want
did
to
not
clear
lose my
that
virginity
up. Yeah.
in middle school.
Yeah,
I'm saying everybody
I just wanted
else
to clear
had.
that up when you was like Barbies and all that shit. I was like,
No.
yeah, man.
But yeah, I was surprised. Like,
well, I'm about to
all
end
their
this
stories.
shit. I'm going to my daughter's
Let's
school.
go.
Protect your daughter.
Protect your daughters.
I'm heading up to the school
And your
right
sons
now,
too,
man.
'cause I
Yeah,
heard
I'm going.
that's
They
stories
at
for
the
them,
same
too.
school. I'm on my way.
Protect all of them.
Fuck that. You know what I'm saying?
Grab your
I'm
kids,
walking
grab
up
your
there.
wife.
Daniel, give me that jacket.
Yeah, man.
I'm out of here, man. I'm grabbing that. Our guy Daniel, man. Come show him your
That
jacket.
jacket looks
Yeah.
intimidating, bro.
Yeah, man.
It makes
Don't
you
put
look
it
way
on.
more
They
intimidating.
see me bell up into the
Hell
school.
yeah, it's like a camo, like you're going to war.
Hell yeah. They
Like
see
you ready
me
to
bell
handle
up in
some
that
shit right
motherfucker
there.
With this,
Oh, what?
It's over. Hey, Daniel, you are much smaller
Yeah, man.
than
Come out
You were 2
closer
years
over
ago.
here.
than
Oh yeah, big, you got
This
this.
is a little ass jacket, Daniel. Where did you get this at? Off of a
Probably
fucking
at Forever 21.
I
off a
like
little
it.
soldier. Yeah.
What'd you
Dope.
say, a little
Like,
soldier?
yeah.
That's dope.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of
Go
here,
ahead,
man.
big.
Smells nice. What do
Hey.
you wear?
All of it.
All of it? I got it. You know what I'm saying?
Double time.
Yeah, all righty. Well, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here.
Let's go.
You okay with it?
Yeah, just...
A little bit tight. You feel a little bit confined.
Or
Can
just
you
the
do
arms,
you have-
you know what I'm saying?
Just the
Are
arm.
you
Can
restricted
can
on
you
your
stretch
movements?
your arm real quick?
Yeah, he had the...
Aw.
but no, it's rolled up. It's rolled up. It's,
Oh,
you know what I'm
okay.
That's
saying?
because
Yeah.
it's long on him.
You don't know nothing about fashion. This dude don't know
Gotcha,
nothing
my
about
bad.
fashion, man. You know what I'm saying? What you wearing, a black hoodie?
Yeah.
All right, now. Come on now.
Pretty much.
Hey, man, I love that he pulled this
looks good.
off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I would pull this off the rack for me,
Yeah.
but that shit worked for him.
Yeah,
It
works
does.
for Daniel.
Hell yeah, man.
Bring
It
some
smells
joy.
nice too, man. It smells like you have a woman.
But he doesn't.
Nah, Dan, you don't have a
What are you
woman.
talking about?
Monica.
Nah,
Dude.
I really think
Danny
on
was-
the download that they're talking to each other.
I think so too, dog.
Yeah.
She yells
probably,
at him.
Probably through MySpace still.
Yeah, already though. They'll never
Taking
find
off
us
my
here.
top 8.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here, man. We about to
She's
over
carpool
him.
caravan over to my
Let's fucking
son and
go,
daughter's
dog.
school. Best believe that, man. I would hop the fence, you know. I was gonna hop the gate,
I would
but
go
it's
with you,
open.
but they're probably a lot taller than me, anyways.
Oh,
so.
the kids?
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah. They'd be like, who that little kid with that mustache over there? All righty, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for hanging out with us.
you.
Uncut, Big Boy
Big
Playboy.
boy.